This is a logic gate simulator. That's a switch. It turns on and off. That's a light bulb. I can connect the switch to the light bulb. On, off. This is something called a NOT gate. I can connect the switch to the NOT gate, and I can connect the output of the NOT gate to another light bulb. Whatever comes out of this switch gets inverted before it reaches the light bulb. So when the switch is in the off position, as you can see here, this bulb is on. And you can see that they alternate like that. This is something called an AND gate. And what's interesting about that is that it requires both switches to be on for the light to be on. So it's as if you had a high security nuclear facility and both of these generals have to turn their keys. One guy won't do it, the other guy won't do it, but put them both together and you have a launch. This is called an OR gate, and the way that it works is that either one of these switches can be on in order to turn the light on. They don't have to both be on. So you have a case where this is on, that'll do it. This is on, that'll do it. And of course, if they're both on, that'll do it too. So it's like if you take strychnine, that'll kill you. And if you take arsenic, that'll kill you. And if you take them both, well, that'll kill you too. So that's kind of the idea behind an OR gate. The multiply blend mode, the multiply blend mode is like an AND gate. And the screen blend mode is like an OR gate. One of the reasons that multiply is like an AND gate is because both layers have to be bright in order for the output of a multiply to be bright. On the other hand, with screen, either one layer or the other layer can be bright in order to produce a bright result. I'll show you what I mean. Here is an example of the blend mode as an AND or an OR. Let's say we start with a white image, and I'll duplicate that layer, and I'll duplicate that layer one more time. And the third layer, the one on the top, I will fill with middle gray. And then I will cut a rectangular hole in it so that we can see down to the layers beneath, this layer and this layer. Okay, now this layer and this layer interact right now using the normal blend mode. I'm going to set it to multiply. Alright, now if I invert both of them, you can see the result is black. If I flip the background to white, that's not sufficient. If I flip the upper layer to white, that's not sufficient. They both have to be white in order for you to see white up here. So in that regard, the multiply blend mode is like an AND gate. Okay, now let's say we switch it from multiply to screen. And I'm going to negate that, and I'm going to negate that. Now, let's see. If I make the bottom white, that's enough to see white. If I make the top white, that's enough to see white. And if I make both of them white, that's also enough to see white. So in that regard, the screen blend mode is like an OR gate. It's a consequence of something called De Morgan's laws that you can turn an AND gate into an OR gate and vice versa. Here's the way you do it. You take if I can grab it. Apparently it's not going to let me move a switch. Okay. You take a NOT gate and you invert the input, and then you invert the output. So if I take this AND gate and I NOT it, the input here, and I take this input and I NOT it, and I take this input, this output, and I NOT it. Now remember, this used to be a AND gate, so now it's going to function as an OR gate. Let's see. OR, there, that one goes on. Or this one, that one goes on. And if both are on, it'll go on. So it's turned an AND gate into an OR gate. Now let's see the same thing with an OR gate turning into an AND gate. So let's see, once again we're going to need a NOT, and another NOT, and let's get rid of these. And now that goes to here. This goes to here. This goes to here. Remember, this used to be an OR gate. Now it should function as an AND gate. So let's see, they're both off. On, no go. On, no go. Both on, the light lights up. So this OR gate is now an AND gate. Do the same laws hold true for the blend modes? Can I turn a multiply blend mode into a screen blend mode, and vice versa? Let's find out. Okay, in this image I have two layers. In the top layer is a model named Betsy May, and in the bottom layer is a model named Marissa. And in this image I have the same situation. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply these two layers together. Notice that when I do that, whatever area is bright in both remains bright when they're multiplied. Where either area is dark, the result is dark. So this is what a multiply looks like of those two layers. Now, do the De Morgan laws hold true? Can we get a multiply look by screening these two layers? Let's find out. First, we take the bottom layer and we invert it. Then we take the top layer and we invert it. Then we set the blend mode to screen, and then I'm going to merge everything down just to make it really easy, and I'm going to flip that around. There is the final negate. So in this case the De Morgan laws held, and you can see that you can turn a screen into a multiply. Okay, how about the other way around? Let's see. Here is our screen of the first two, so you can see that wherever either one of them is bright, the result is bright. So that's a screen. Now let's see if the De Morgan laws hold true over here. We come to the first layer and we invert it. We come to the second layer and we invert it, and then we multiply those, and I'm going to flatten it, and then we invert the result. And that's what happens when you do the De Morgan recipe on a multiply. It becomes a screen. Here's a straight screen.